So funny because I've told this story before, but I have been called Velma. Just like one time I had my glasses on and I had kind of bell-bottom pants, and these high school kids were like, "Hey, look, it's Velma."
The Scooby Gang comes together with host Janelle Parrish for a look back at over 50 years of meddling.
I remember season 1.
And of course, there's
A mystery.
Quick, find somewhere hilarious to hide.
Hi, Kate.
How's it going?
Going well. How about yourself?
Good, thanks. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm curious about your background. Is that like a whiteboard or a screen or a projector?
It's a screen. I know it's not the greatest, and there's like a drum set and my recording equipment. It's not very fancy, but
I like it.
I don't know.
I think it's awesome, actually.
Oh, thanks. I'll take it.
A lot fancier than mine, a blank wall that I need to put something on.
Oh no, it looks cool. Is your what's on your globe?
Okay, so that's like a winter hat. You see, I went to LA for a week and my mother came over and suddenly there's things rearranged and put that like I found myself having like a winter Green Bay Packers hat on my globe.
Got it. I almost thought it looked from here, almost looked like you decorated it for Halloween but no, it's not. Okay.
Well, I got my pumpkins carved already too, so that's all on display already.
Perfect.
It's not in the
That's
background.
good.
Should have probably put it though. Good idea. Next year. How are you though?
I'm good, thanks. What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Chicago.
Nice, awesome. I like Chicago.
I remember you being okay. I was at the screening or premiere. I think you were there with a Q&A for The Little Hours.
Yeah.
At the Music Box.
Yes, that's such an awesome movie theater. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's got that old school kind of. You were there, right, for a Q&A?
Yep, I was there, yep.
That's right. I was there in the audience for that. So.
Oh, cool. Thanks for going. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure. That's definitely a memorable movie. You and Aubrey, and it was a heck of a cast.
It's a crazy cast. It was such a good time. It was amazing.
Yeah, look at nuns that we haven't gotten prior to. I don't think I remember any other movie of that
I would
sort.
definitely agree with that for sure.
That's awesome. I didn't even realize you've been doing Velma's voice for that many years.
It's cool, huh? I feel really fortunate. I mean, Velma was always my favorite character. I've been a Scooby Doo fan for my entire life. So yeah, it's pretty cool that I get to do that.
I'll tell you what, and this is actually a really good thing. You do the voice of Velma, but you actually resemble. You could totally play her in a movie version.
It's so funny because I've told this story before, but I have been called Velma. Just like one time I had my glasses on and I had kind of bell-bottom pants, and these high school kids were like, "Hey, look, it's Velma." And I wanted to be like, actually, I am, but I didn't say anything because I was in a rush. But
I'm surprised they actually knew who Velma is. Today's high schoolers,
That's true. Although Scooby Doo is timeless, I feel like no matter what, people know who know the Scooby Doo characters, which is cool.
That is so true. You know what's crazy about this franchise in a sense? It keeps on reinventing itself. When I like watching this show, it's like it reminds me. It's like 52 years. We weren't even a thought back then. Either of us. Our parents were children probably back. When this came out, it's unbelievable how long the longevity of it is, and how it's been over the years, kind of adjusted with the times, and it's gotten kind of hip and cool, and even the characters change up a little bit of their appearance. It's amazing how it's constantly reinvented itself.
And what also is so cool is that Frank Welker has been there since day one. And so he has played Fred since the beginning, and now he also plays Scooby, and he's just, he's truly a legend, and it's so cool that he's been there since the beginning.
That's amazing. Do you have conversations with him, kind of like what was the starting point and what is it like now to do it? As I wonder if it's changed for him or just kind of been all the same. I'm curious to be with such a thing from the beginning of it,
Yeah, I haven't asked him that specific question, but I have asked him before about like what was it like, when he auditioned, and but gosh, you should get him because he is full of stories. He's got so many great stories. Yeah.
How did you audition for him? So you're a fan, which is awesome in its own right. So this is like familiar territory for you. It's cool to be a fan of something and then get to do it. I'd imagine that's like almost a dream come true. But how did the process start for you to audition for Velma's voice?
I just got an email saying that they were auditioning Velmas, and I put together an audition tape. And I just remember it being a really, really busy time because we were shooting the Garfunkel and Oates TV show at
Mhm.
the time, which was very full time for me. So I was having trouble finding a moment to like get to a quiet place to actually record my audition. So I said, "Can I do it this weekend?" And they said yes. So I recorded it in my closet on a Saturday and I sent it in, and then they gave me notes. And again, I was just like working the longest hours ever. And I said, "Is it okay if I do it next weekend?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So that next Saturday I went in, I adjusted my audition a little bit and sent it in again. And then yeah, I remember exactly where I was when I found out I got the part, because it was such a big deal for me. I was
Where
at a
were
park.
you?
I was at a park way out in the valley, like deep, deep valley. So
Uh-huh.
like Chatsworth area.
That's a memorable thing. That's a good phone call to get always, right? That you
It
booked.
was. I remember jumping around and like running around the park and running around the trees. I was so excited.
People thinking like, what is going on? Or maybe, in LA, probably like, oh yeah, it's normal, that kind of behavior.
Yeah, probably a little more normal over here. We get some crazy things happening.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's cool too. Like I liked how the Scooby Doo's also became kind of like, straight to DVD specials. Like I love how they combine, like I think every other, you had Scooby Doo and Batman, Scooby Doo and Dracula. Like they have invited every sort of other franchise or known commodity to collaborate. Even wrestling, which I'm a wrestling fan, and you did a Sasha Banks voice too, which is kind of fun in its own right. But that's so cool that Scooby Doo has been able to blend in with so many kind of out of the box known entities.
Yeah, no, it really, I mean, that's the fun thing. And that's one of the things that I think keeps it going, is that they just, like you were saying, it changes with the times, and whatever seems to be, of the moment or whatever. I think when we did Scooby Doo Guess Who, that series was really cool because we had a lot of, guests that were, every episode was a new guest. And yeah, there was always so many like really, we had Sia and Weird Al and like really cool people.
And you sometimes get surprised, like, oh wow, they probably are fans of it too. It's great to see kind of who are the fans too, who want to participate in it or make these cameos. It's kind of like, oh, I never imagined they were fans, and still want to be part of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would imagine, I've never met anyone who doesn't like Scooby Doo, I think. So, I mean, how can you not be a fan of something that's just it's just so iconic and also so much fun.
Yeah, and I mean, you go to the grocery store sometimes and you see the still Scooby snacks and like the, and the treats aisle with all the other stuff.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's resonating still. You can
For
get the
sure.
cookie.
Yeah, I think they have like Scooby Doo gummy bear kind of things, like fruit snacks. So,
Everything, and it
yeah.
just shows that it continues going on. What I liked about this special too, I love how it was so self-aware, and like the opening of the third wall or whatnot, and kind of poking fun itself. That's like I found that so fun and endearing too, in this special.
I totally agree. I was so like charmed by the final product. It really ended up being just like one of my favorite things, I think, as far as like, yeah, the monster was great. Like there were just so
Yeah.
many funny moments and really great guest stars in it too. And it was really just well written. So I laughed a lot watching it. I watched it, got to see it last night, and I was really, really excited about it. So I'm really excited for people to see it tonight.
Yeah, and Janelle's like, I don't know. Well, she plays it off well because you have the cartoon version of the characters and her, in live action. So she did a heck of a job playing into it too. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure her job was much harder probably than ours, because she was having to talk to who knows what.
yeah, I wonder what. I literally wonder, a stick maybe, or
so great. She did an awesome job. So yeah.
absolutely. One thing about this too that resonates, I mean, in a sense, we had movies and with Scooby Doo and the cartoon series is also, I think, like the characters in itself. Each one is so distinguishable and like has personality traits that you see in like other people. Like you kind of know a Shaggy in your life, or someone, even Scooby's personality. Kind of that sort of thing. Did it ever hit with you, being a fan, that you kind of resonate with the specific characters, or maybe knew someone in your life that resembled them?
Well, I think for me, really, it was Velma. I have always well, not always. Since I was 10, I wore glasses. I'm wearing contacts right now. So
Me too.
yeah. Oh, cool. I don't know why that's cool, but yeah. So I think I always was just a Velma fan, and we kind of always had a similar haircut. And you know, I guess for a time I wore turtlenecks in my life, but she was always my favorite. So that is also why it's so extra special for me that I get to play her, because yeah, I mean, it is neat too. I think throughout the years, you know, the nerd has become the cool person. So
Right. That's
exciting for Velma.
totally. I think Velma now resonates a lot different than she might have in the past, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's really fun too over the years. You know, even in the new adaptations, you know, I always liked this about Scooby Doo. Like they always kept sort of the animation. It didn't go like Pixar-esque, you know, with the CGI. It always was the kind of handwritten animation, which I really kind of feel is like the genesis or authenticity of cartoons. You know, there's something about the like kind of the hand drawn characters in cartoons that's different than the CGI or, you know, 3D versions that we get today in a lot of cartoons.
Totally. I mean, I think that and any, you know, it's still this kind of, it's like almost like a comfort food or something, where we're like, oh yeah, we grew up watching it like this, and it feels comfortable to still watch it. And it's truly a beautiful art form. And so, yeah, I think hopefully that will never go away.
Yeah, I think that there's always plenty of room for different animation. I think we should keep that as kind of a nostalgia, you know, of animation that we grew up with. So many of the classics were hand drawn.
It's so true. Yeah. I think that yeah, hopefully I think it won't go away unless who knows what, there'll be like some kind of like, you know, new thing where it's holograms that just sit right there with you, and then you'll be like, okay, well, you know, who knows.
Virtual, yeah, the virtual VR glasses and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's also interesting for me how you kind of start out. You've had a fascinating career. I mean, you've done puppets, right? I mean, that's kind of your, I guess, genesis to.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you done comedy and obviously, you know, acting troupes and stuff and then acting, you know, for film and television. And then when and how did the animation kind of come to you about? Because now you're kind of noticed for animation, a lot of your animation work that you've been part of. When did that come to you in your career? Is that something you've always wanted to do?
You know, it's really interesting because I recently found my journal from when I first moved to LA, and in almost every other entry, I write how I really want to be a voiceover artist, because I was actually really shy. And that's why I love puppets, because I couldn't imagine being in front of the camera or actually on stage. I thought, okay, I'll be more behind a little bit. Wow. That felt safe to me. And so I was always writing, I want to do voiceover. And I had taken one class because I didn't have a lot of money. And so classes were expensive, but I took like a 1 weekend course on voiceover, you know, and how to do it. But still, it's like such a hard thing to break into.
Oh, yeah.
And then I started to get a little bit more, I guess, daring. And I started to audition in front of the camera, and I did a lot of commercials, and then I did some TV guest spots and things. And then finally, like, so things were going okay there. And I was, you know, finding my way. And then I was like, but I really want to do animation. And so I started auditioning, and I think I auditioned for 5 years without getting a part. And I even had said to my voiceover agents, it's okay, like, this is just not going to work for me. And they're like, no, keep going. It just takes that one. And sure enough, I got a really cool show called Motor City for Disney. And then that was just like an amazing experience. And then I got to know people in that world, and that really got the ball rolling for me with animation. So it was crazy how hard I auditioned for so long and wasn't getting anything. And then it did just take that one magic job to kind of lead me into it. So yeah, I mean, it is a really, really fun job, and I feel really grateful that I get to do it.
That's awesome. You see that persistence, you know, the never quit thing, and you never know that one audition can change everything. You know, you never know when it comes. That's such a story of like Hollywood and actors, you know, in a nutshell.
It's true. Yeah. And I think it helps to have amnesia to forget about all the ones that you don't get.
Oh yeah. Because you're beating yourself up for the rest of your life, and that's just not productive in any way. Yeah. Couple more before we wrap up. I want to ask you, we're in Halloween season. Are you into Halloween? Do you like to dress up or do Halloween activities? How do you feel about this time of the month?
I do love like I like being an observer usually. But when I was younger and I was like a full-time babysitter, and I would love dressing up the kids that I babysat for.
Oh,
And
nice.
now I have an almost 2-year-old, and so this is the first year that he actually is kind of aware of Halloween, and I am really excited to go trick-or-treating with him. And he is dressing up like Blippi. I don't know if you know Blippi. He's a
I
YouTube
don't, but that
character.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, he's just this YouTube guy that my son really loves, and he has a little bow tie and a funny hat. And so Mikey, my son, is super excited, and he's been wearing his Blippi outfit for days. And
That's
I can't wait.
awesome.
I'm really excited to go trick or treating. It's brought back the fun of that again. I'm going to dress as a stoplight with a orange cone on my head. So.
Did you make it yourself, or you got?
No, it's actually a kid's costume, but luckily it fit me because it kind of goes with the Blippi theme. So.
Wow, I've never heard of that one, but that's gonna be interesting, certainly, for sure.
Yeah. How
That's
about you? Are
awesome.
you going to dress up?
No, I mean, the last time I dressed up, I think I was like Clark Kent / Superman. I pulled that one off somehow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, journalist. I fancy myself as like a poor man's Clark Kent,
That's
But,
awesome.
yeah, I've always been like a huge Superman fan. So I'm not sure, but I do all the other things. Like I carved pumpkins already. I'm going to a haunted house tonight, which I'm super
Hey, that's
excited
fun.
about. Yeah, they're huge here in Illinois. There's a lot of great ones, and I'm into watching like the horror movies through like any chance I can get. So last night I actually saw the Poltergeist for the first time in my life.
I have never seen it, but scary movies scare me. So I haven't seen a lot of scary movies.
It's a classic, but yeah, it makes sense. I guess stay away from it unless you have a group maybe with you, in that case,
I
watching
did
together.
recently watch Misery, and I loved it. Really
Oh,
good.
that's a good one. That's a really underrated classic.
So fun. It's such a fun movie.
It really is. And finally, I wanted to ask you, you've done so much in your life, especially career-wise. You've tried it all, which is great, a little bit of everything. What do you like to do in your free time? Like what sort of hobbies or interests do you have when you're not working that you like to participate in?
Well, I love drawing, and so I like to draw cartoons a lot, and just like one panel. Like I don't have like one character that I like do. Like it's not like an ongoing series or anything like that. But I just like to draw cartoons, and we're also building a half pipe in our yard, which I'm excited to try. I'm not really that great of a skater, but I've always
Whose idea was this?
My husband's idea. I'm really hoping it's okay. The craziest part about it is that it's built on a cliff, so you better not fall off it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put some nets up. But anyway, I like to kind of just draw and hang out with my family. But yeah, mostly that's it. And write music. I love writing music. So
see, that's still creative in a way, but different, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Keeping that creativity alive. Well, listen, I loved you. I hope you continue as a voice of Velma. There's something really organic and authentic about it. Scooby Doo.
I hope so too.
Yes, I think you've been on a good run, so I don't see why they would change that. But yeah, the special is really fun too for those that it's airs. Tonight. Wow. The 29th, of October. And keep it going. I love to see you in films and animation, but you've had a heck of a career and been a fan.
Oh, I really appreciate it. And it was really nice to talk with you.
Thank you, Kate. Hope to connect again on the next one.
I hope so too. Thanks so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Scooby Doo, Where Are You Now? Friday, October 29th, free next day, only on the CW app. Scooby Dooby Doo.